For too long, I thought knowledge was power. I realized that knowing a lot about something will not make me successful, but taking extreme action will. When I first got started in personal growth and self improvement, I found myself overly consuming so much information. I would read books, I would listen to podcasts, I would watch YouTube videos, motivational videos. But the first mistake I made is that I didn't even take notes. And we all know how important taking notes are. But that wasn't the biggest mistake that I made. The biggest mistake I made is that I spent so much time learning, but not enough time actually putting the work in. I would spend hours and hours learning information, and I would feel good about myself. I would tell myself that I'm somehow better than others because I'm doing all this learning and that I'm somehow actually doing the work. But in reality, I was just afraid. I was afraid to improve. I was locked in my comfort zone. And instead of actually doing the work, I just continued to learn. And a lot of us have been in this situation because, society teaches us that knowledge is power. Our teachers, our parents, our friends have all taught us that being knowledgeable is what makes you successful. The thing is, no one ever explains why knowledge is power. They just say it. And I was a victim of this belief too. I thought for so long that being smart was a superpower. But what I realized is that taking extreme action is the real superpower. You can be the most ambitious person in the world, but if you don't take action, you will remain the same. And this is where I was at. I was ambitious. I wanted to achieve great things. I wanted to do amazing things. But I tricked myself into thinking I was doing the real work when in reality, I was just lying to myself. I call it the dome of comfort. It's like you're stuck in this comfort zone. You're stuck in there. And I was stuck in there, but I didn't realize it. I thought that I was improving, but I was really just learning without actually practicing what I was learning. And so I was stuck in this place for quite a while, not realizing why I wasn't making any progress. But then I realized that if all I'm doing is learning and not using what I'm learning, I'm just going to forget about it. There's a saying that if you don't use what you learn, you lose what you learn. And that's what happened to me because I spent so much time learning and consuming and overstimulating my brain with so much information, but I didn't take any of the notes and I didn't create an action plan. I simply just learned. James Clear talks about the difference between being in motion and taking action in his best-selling book, Atomic Habits. Unfortunately for me, I was stuck in motion, but I wasn't taking any action. And so being in motion is doing all those things before taking the action. And James Clear talks about how it's almost impossible to grow if all we do is remain in motion. Being in motion is kind of like a stagnant lake that just has ripples every once in a while from the wind. But taking action is like a beautiful, clear stream flowing and consistently moving forward. And so if we continue to remain in motion but not take enough action, we're going to remain the same. Before I end this video, I just want to remind you of something. You have infinite potential and unlimited abilities. You will accomplish great things and you will change the world. I want to leave you with this message from Jim Quick. He says, knowledge is not power. Knowledge times action is power.